Alright, welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series, everyone. This is DB Smiley here, casting some Division C action between the Elite Murloc EMC, Elite Murloc Chieftains, I'm just going to call them EMC, and We Like Tortles. We're going to start this on Battlefield of Eternity, and I'm joined by Sweet Buns. Sweet Buns, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Magfest happened kind of recently. I'm really surprised to see a Genji ban right off the bat. It might just be a team fear, I would say, or maybe a team comfort pick for their enemy.
One thing I like about Division C drafts, they tend to be a lot quicker than higher division. As it could have been that, Vala is very popular on this map, but Vala can also be blown up pretty quickly with a dive. Especially now that kind of double support somewhat out of the meta. But we see the Greymane Lucio. Other than the Genji ban, which I don't hate as a first ban. It's a bit strange on this map, but I don't hate. Pretty straightforward draft. Nothing really surprising, just other than the
Lucio being a relatively safe early support pick, great for enabling engages, great for enabling other characters later in the draft, like say if they want a Garrosh.
Now I want to look at that Oriole pick. I don't like it. I don't think Oriel's that good right now. I just don't. But further, if Vala's the battery, Vala's gonna be on this map imaginably going Q build to burn down the Immortal. Which means she's not doing the PvP damage that Oriole needs to sustain. So Lucio will definitely have a sustain advantage unless they get a second battery, or unless they get someone else to burn the Immortal besides Vala. But there's the Varian Chrome even. Go ahead.
I do recall it was quite a few patches ago. They buffed Ariel's independence and basically made her more of a safe pick all-around support. Of course, without the battery, some of her potential's gone. But I don't.
They really didn't. They just straight nerfed her. I mean, this is they upped how much energy she acquired, but they've since nerfed her maximum.
Like how much energy she can dispense.
Yeah, they've nerfed her maximum energy. She doesn't have the reduced cooldown, and the truth is, even without a battery target, without a battery target, she still can't fill up her energy bar reliably unless the enemy team kind of just stands there and eats sweet spot Q. She's very weak to me as a solo support. Now, she will have knockback potential, and I could even see a second support working out something a bit more sustainy to kind of pair with Ariel's burst. But then you're giving up a lot of damage. We're going to see Murd and Sonya. Very, very aggressive build on the right side of the screen. And I like it a lot. You can pair that with pretty much any ranged assassin. That's a very strong combo.
Long range engage, unpredictable. You can't really react to muted in Stormbolt, while some people with exceptional timing could react to, say, something like EDC's Power Slide.
Yeah, well, I mean, ETC was banned out, but as well, which was the top warrior, so Murd is not a surprise. Okay, there's the Malthael. Actually, now I can understand the Ariel. I'm still very skeptical. I think that if you're going to go this style comp, a better support right now might be Stukov, or even a Morales, though Morales, of course, can get Dove. But she actually has better tools before level 10 than Ariel does at surviving. It's going to depend on how much value they're able to get off Aegis, I think, because there's so much aggressive build. And there's a Kael'thas, so I was thinking more of a Li Ming here. Just because Li Ming can bring so much immort damage. This is a pretty standard draft from We Like Tortles. And kind of an interesting, I mean, sustainy, but not too unusual draft on the side of EMC. So it's... What do you think heading into this game?
EMC is red, correct? Sorry.
EMC is on the left, so they have the Vala Oriole.
Oh, yeah. You said more standard on their side. Meanwhile, they're triple frontline, 2 heavy divers, into a comp that you ultimately do not want to dive into. Sonya Mirrored and Greymane Lucio can back him up. Disengage helps with disengage a lot. Kael'thas to dump on the triple front line even more. I can't quantify it
Well-
that much as a clumpy triple front line because of the ability of Anubarak and Malthael to sort of scoot around a little.
I would say on the left, it's more counter engaged. So EMC is counter engaged. If I pull up the screen, EMC is more counter engaged because yes, once they engage, then you can have Mathael blow the Tormented Souls. You have Arthas that if they funnel through a choke point can slow them. Anubarak can engage aggressively, but he can also engage defensively. And then Ariel's actually incredibly good at specifically counter engage. That's not to say that they don't have some dive aspects to their comp, but yeah, I don't think they'll use them so much as I think they'll try to just counter engage and force Lucio to blow his Amp It Up or Sound Barrier early, and then that would allow Mathael to go in and get some damage. But with that, we're going to start with EMC over here on the left. Norian going to be on the Mathael. Brogene going to be on Ariel. Undead 752 going to be playing Vala. Goku-E. Goku-E, I'm going to go with, although it's Goku probably. Anubarak and Krinivas going to be on Arthas. And you want to introduce the red team for me starting at the top.
Alright, we got Wisp on Lucio, Dr. Crispy on Muradin, Silent Storm 3 on Kael'thas, Goron Chief on Greymane, and Got Milk at the top lane on Sonya. It looks like top lane, should Malthael play correctly and build his talents right, specifically level 4 single target damage on his Q.
Yeah, until level 4, he won't win the lane, he won't lose it. After level 4, he could very easily win that lane. So we'll see where that goes.
I think it's like a very slowly losing situation, but slow enough that you're gonna start taking the lead immediately at level 4.
I mean, with Sonya Mouth, it tends to be considered a skill matchup. Mouth has a slight advantage after 4 if he goes die alone, but before that, it could really go either way depending on skill. As Anubarak getting caught out here, eats a gravity lapse, has to burrow charge out, bringing Living Bomb back towards the team. But now here comes the counter engage. Arthas trying to get on, but already the Convection stacks up to 3. Something that EMC is going to have to be aware of. Kael'thas did go Convection here.
So the bottom lane's result seems like it's going to depend entirely how much value Kael'thas is going to get. Otherwise, I would say our blue team takes it away here.
They do have the Vala Ariel, which in lane is strong. The reason I'm still kind of skeptical is that most of the fighting on this map does not really happen in the lane as much. As Anubarak goes in, trying to make something happen, blows the combo, but nothing really there for it. As the Living Bomb, you know, doing a very good job, EMC, of not spreading that bomb. Meanwhile, up in the top, Mouth slowly but steadily winning this lane even without the 4. And I've kind of looked at it. Seems like he's playing that one a little bit more skillful.
Now, when you say skill matchups, I imagine you're talking about dancing around minions in particular. That's the Sonya matchup in a nutshell.
In a lot of ways, one of the cool things you can do with Mouth is, of course, poison, like the Archer minions, where Sonya would like to hang out until she's ready with Whirlwind, and then hop to the Archer minion as a way to engage and get some free dots, as I actually, T-Tors missed the Kael'thas death in the bottom lane. And that resets his stack, so good start for EMC.
Oh, as for the... I was going to comment on the Anubarak engage. It was just how his team was pulling back to hit the healing fountain, just as he went for it, so he got no follow-up. A little bit lack synergy there.
Yeah, but right now, good move here by EMC, making sure they get those bruisers in the lane. And this is actually why I think 1-4 matchup, I'm surprised it hasn't fallen out of style on this map, because if you put 4 in the bot lane on both sides, that actually favors blue team. They have a shorter distance to rotate to their bruisers to clear them. Forces the red team to then have to play a little bit from behind, but here comes a gank squad coming into Mathael. Now Mathael, not the easiest to gank, but here it comes, and he uses a little nifty maneuver to get back towards his allies. Arthas now coming in with a root. Lucio's a bit low, but no real focus damage on the side of EMC onto that Lucio. Now the poke war is just coming back and forth. This is a 5v5 on the top lane. No one really focusing the Immortal at all. Now it looks like we're starting to see EMC rotate down towards it.
It was a really good play from Malthael. Not so much a good play in positioning right now. He took a big chunk of damage for free right there. But really good play, predicting when Muradin would throw his Stormbolt and teleporting behind him at exactly that moment.
Yeah, it was really well played there. Now, at this point, EMC, they need to recognize that there's a 4-man defense, that Greymane's on the bottom, and they need to, as 5, kind of go in and try to find a way. And it looks like they're focusing down that Sonya is going to try to whirlwind on out there, but now it looks like Muradin also going to take a bit of damage. Great route by Quirnavast, trying to get the chase, but there's the zoning once again by Sonya, but they turn their attention onto the Immortal. But the Greymane does a good job keeping up with the members of EMC. Though not a huge lead for EMC, about 2,500.
Blue made a good call there. They saw their Immortal was taking damage and decided to heavy engage a 5v4.
Yeah, and that was a good decision. But there you just see the power of the Greymane, even though it was a 2,500 gap. Now, EMC wins this, but it went from a 2,500 gap to about a 700 gap, and that's just the power of Greymane Sonya on this map, where you're able to catch up, but not able to win it after you're that far down in a straight burn rate. Let's see what happens. More coming in, root onto the backline on Greymane.
Lucio a bit aggressive there, barely dodging a Nubarak's burrow.
Yeah, Nubarak was positioned quite a bit forward, and now roots are coming down across the wall here. Now, Kael'thas could get a lot of convection stacks here if he's careful, but actually Kael'thas is in the bot lane. What am I saying? As Muradin gets a little bit caught out, gets stunned, and drops, trying to dwarf toss away. Fort's still going to survive for the time being, though. As Kael'thas is actually doing pretty well into this Malthael down here, just poking with the Living Bomb quite effectively. Malthael down below 200 health, gonna have to back up, but still 4 people up in the top, pushing its 3, big root onto Sonya. But a knockback before the follow-up can be there.
Making very good use of a Nubarak straight there, spotting Beetles to tank the tower shots.
Yeah. Now, Norian and getting pretty aggressive here into this Kael'thas, getting some of that poison damage out. Now, it's worth noting, Malthael did not go die alone. He went into Black Harvest, trying to get that added duration. Now, that can be particularly good on this map if you can just poke with your E onto the Immortal. Especially after Memento Mori at 16, you can actually get quite a bit of Immortal damage at no risk, even with the enemy team defending. Now we see Siege Giants picked up, going to be pushed up with here by EMC. Kael'thas now rotating back up top, trying to build those convection stacks. Sonya once again in the bot lane against Malthael. Let's get the warning.
That's an early rotation. I imagine they're taking the siege camps at bottom. Either that, they could be invading 3-minute 15 on that timer. They could be taking their bruiser mercenaries, but a gank on Sonya in the meantime.
Yeah, gank on Sonya. Ariel was there with the knockback, but it seemed like they're maybe being a bit too clever waiting for a rotation from red when they probably could have gone in and gotten Sonya with as much displacement potential as they have. Malthael going to grab the bot siege, but here come the Immortals. Now, once again, the team's kind of starting a 5v5 fight as the Immortal starts, rather than rotating. But already blue on their Immortal, starting to burn, gonna get that Vala damage. Vala, though, only has 3 stacks at Punching Arrows, so gonna do good damage, but not the amazing damage you generally draft Vala for on this map. But a huge lead, about a 4,500 HP lead side of EMs. Nation comes into Bruisers, and they're starting their Bruisers while you see the members of We Like Tortles burning down the Immortal. And actually, now this race is basically a dead heat. Could go either way. Bruisers enter lane. It's going to go in the favor of EMC. But it was within that range where you say, man, that 8%, well, slightly more than 8% level advantage.
I'm really surprised they made that call. That was really greedy. And either took an immense calculation.
Mm-hmm. Either took an immense calculation or just a lot of luck, and I'm not sure whether EMC is lucky or just. I lean towards lucky in this situation. But Kael'thas already up to 12 stacks, but the Immortal is now over the wall. And actually, the focus is on once again onto that Lucio. Now, Cocoon is available to be used as the minions come out for Arthas here to kind of help tank the shots and just get some siege damage. But still Tormented Souls, still Cocoon, still Aegis, although, of course, Methail's up in the top lane fighting Sonya and actually just blows Tormented Souls in the 1v1. Doesn't have Die Alone, probably won't get the kill. Punisher does get killed. We Like Tortles does defend it. They do get their level 10s. And so, you know, now they're back on equal talent tiers. They do have a brief window where they know that Tormented Souls and Army of the Dead is down, and they could try to look to fight.
And where that fight is going to be is probably going to be around the Merc camps. This spawns in 40. The Bruisers on the red side.
Yeah, a lot of indecision. Yeah, a lot of indecision here on the side of We Like Tortles. It seems like they don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they want to go. We're now seeing Kael'thas rotate down to the bottom alone, but that's a very risky soak for Kael'thas. Might be sniffed out here. Ooh, here comes a gank. Kael'thas starting to back up. If he backed up any later, he was dead. But at 14 combustion or convection stacks, it's very important he doesn't die it. But going for that gank actually costs...
A 5v5.
Yeah. Well, going for that gank actually costs them the ability to push with their siege up top. And here comes a 5v5 over this Merc camp. Kael'thas coming in, getting big damage off the Flame Strike. There's a Cocoon this time onto Kael'thas as Greymane gets chased down and finished up on Vithael. Muradin trying to hold onto the point, but gonna have to Dwarf Toss out. Now Sonya trying to get away, gets the Rain of Vengeance to interrupt her Whirlwind. 2 people lost. Bruiser camp over to the side of EMC. Great fight there by EMC. But Kael'thas just finished Convection. Go ahead.
It may have been a call that worked out very heavily in their favor, getting 2 kills while losing none. It's not a call I really would have made. Malthael's ultimate was down, and the red team had all 5 of their own ults.
Yep, as now the Immortal comes up, and even though it's the offensive side Immortal, already going to be burned very, very quick on the side of EMC. Just a ton of confidence, and there's a huge amount of interrupt, trying to trigger Tormented Souls. Here comes the Sound Barrier, tries to save Kael'thas, but Kael'thas goes down. Now Goku's in a lot of trouble. Goku's going to go down. 1-for-1 trade, but the health bars are just so low on the side of We Like Tortles, and the Root is going to secure the kill onto Muradin. Sonya is now running away, going to get finished off by that Oriole Vala combination, as does Greymane and Lucio. It's a 5-man wipe, 5-for-1 trade. EMC is on a tear. What do you think of that fight?
I'm sorry, I was just like immersed in your commentary. Solid rapping.
What do you do now? All right, let's say you're We Like Tortles. How do you just got the engage in some ways that you wanted. Kael'thas was able to chunk out a lot of early damage. You sound barriered perfectly the Tormented Souls, and yet you still lost the fight. What can you do at this point?
It seemed like the 13 versus 10 talent advantage, the talent tier advantage, seemed pretty significant. With this full health Immortal, it seems like they're just going to have to take a keep and play behind, soak safely, and watch out for gank squads.
Yep. Well, at this point, it's a matter of, can they get 13 before this Immortal hits the wall? And even when it does, I mean, this wall is still healthy. Yeah. This wall is still healthy, but actually, I love this decision by EMC. Whenever you have this kind of advantage, it's a really good idea to force a reaction. You have a 100 shield Immortal. That can take a keep by itself. Kael'thas coming down, using the Phoenix early on this defense, trying to buy some time for the team to rotate down, while Sonya Greymane, who will burn down the Immortal quickly, are starting to do it. Now Muradin poking out from behind the wall, trying to get some damage. Krinaves eating some Kael'thas damage, but there's the stun on the Muradin. Rain of Vengeance Sound Barrier just barely saves his life, but the chase is still on, and there's the Root followed by the Rain of Vengeance, taking out Muradin. Mathael is all over this back line. Kael'thas not getting back. Lucio is in that spider web, and that web will indeed trap him. Ariel securing the kill. EMC just looking dominant right now. Kael'thas finishes his cocktail quest, so there's that. But right now, Greymane Sonya having to rotate down, trying to defend this core. Mouth is already turning his attention on the core. There's a leap going to be used, but an Aegis trying to save Malthael's life. Now Got Milk trying to whirlwind away to stay alive. Greymane, meanwhile, trying to poke off this damage. Good cocktail there, doing quite a bit of damage. Mathael's going to get zoned down. Now the health bars inside of EMC starting to drop. Goron going to have to Dark Flight out of there just briefly, but now Undead might get left behind by the team. There's a good route onto Sonya, trying to slow down this chase. Ooh, a great knockback to interrupt Muradin's Dwarf Toss, but now a stun onto Ariel. Ariel is going to go down. Sonya's trying to slow it down. Burrow Charge going to secure a Nubarak getting away. Meanwhile, Greymane trying to defend this core, which is already down to 49%. But EMC gets away with only 1 death and half of the health of the core from We Like Tortles, as well as both their keeps. So this is still heavily slanted in favor of EMC.
There was lots of CC to disengage there, but what's disengage compared to Lucio's 5-man speed boost when you've got half the map to cross? Aside from that, I did say a red team would have to sacrifice a keep there, and they seem like they got the gist of Blue's split push really early. Therefore, I believe they should have gone for a 5v5 either on the Immortal or the red team.
Mm-hmm.
And just cut the loss, really.
Yep. As We Like Tortles going to grab their Bruiser to counter this siege. The health rotating down. Going to scout out the members of We Like Tortles. We Like Tortles, you know, they got their siege in the bottom. It's going to force a reaction. At this point, I would like to see them maybe try to push up with this. This Bruiser camp can push really well against the fort. Can just keep spawning dogs to tank the shots. And they need to get something. Even if they win a 100-0 Immortal, if that thing has to go through fort wall and keep wall and keep, it's not going to get it done. So they're not going to have 16 heading into this fight. They haven't gotten enough structure damage to do that. And I think they're going to pay for that as the engagement starts to come in. Waiting for the engage. There's a good E, trying to get some of that damage out. We do have the Momentum Mori picked up. That's going to start doing quite a bit of damage when paired with that Tormented Souls, as well as Touch of Death. Gonna hurt Lucio's healing here.
Now is the time for Red to engage. They may be a talent tier down, but they see that 5v4 right there. Malthael,
yeah,
sniffs blood in the water, he's on his way.
Yeah, there's focus. Arthas actually going to go down. Great use of the Curse Bullet. Tormented Souls, though, coming into the back. Separated members of Red. Sound Barrier now. Not going to be able to do a lot of good. Got Milk is so low. Down below 200. There's the Sound Barrier trying to get the turnaround on Mathael. Kilthos now separated from team. Manages to pick out Arthas. There's the Aegis trying to save herself is Ariel. But that's going to be another member going down. Meanwhile, Weeps and Got Milk just barely getting away. Silent Storm going to back off. Looks like Muradin wants to finish. Greymane trying to get Mathael killed. Mathael does go down. The health bars are still low on the side. Lucio currently in speed boost rather than healing boost. Switches over now, trying to get everyone nice and healthy. There comes a burn now, eating some stun damage there. Kael'thas needs to be careful. He's quite low. But a 4-for-1 trade. First sign of life in a team fight from We Like Tortles.
Somebody has to start Hearthstoning right now.
Yeah, someone's going to have to deal with that bottom lane.
We got catapults. 3 catapults.
Well, yeah, 3 katas. They're going to burn down this tower first. That's going to buy them time, but it doesn't look like...
Okay, Kael'thas is hard thing.
Kael'thas is now back, and the minion wave's going to... So they're not going to lose any more of their core health. And there we go, 100-0 Immortal. You have level 16s. I mean, you need to make a lot happen with this Immortal. But you also have to worry. I mean, there's 3 catapults up in the top that are already lined up, a 4th on the way. There's a catapult bottom. There's going to be more there. And if Kael'thas has to be goaltending, they're losing a lot of their team fight damage, even with this Immortal.
If I can sum up the last fight and why Blue lost, I would say it's the extremely low health bars on every single one of the red members. Just no kills were finished there.
And that can always be an issue with Mathael, is it's easy to get a lot of damage out. As Mathael now trying to use the Tormented Souls, going for the engage, uses a great W to get in, but
back into the chain bomb.
Push back into the chain bomb with the Cursed Bullet, securing a Nubrax's fate. Now the turnaround Aegis going to be blown onto Malthael, but it is not enough, as now the fort is down and the chase is on, and this is the chance that We Like Tortles needs, but their core is taking damage now from a siege camp. Sonya has Hearth to take care of it, and this Immortal down to half health, really a quarter of its health if you count the shields. Gonna have to make a lot happen to get this keep, and even then I don't know if they can end. But I think they almost have to try. Here it comes though, keep dropping pretty quick. This is a bulky Immortal. And down goes the keep, trying to dive in. Greymane going for Brogene. Brogene going to be able to back out of there using the Shield of Hope to stay alive. Rain of Vengeance doesn't connect. Great push away. Now the chase trying to keep Vala uncomfortable. But there's no commit to the core. Even though Arthas was going to be down, they're a little bit worried about Blue coming back. At least they can equalize pressure in the top lane. Sonya's going to find them 20 here in the bottom while they grab the siege camp. We like Tortles, finding ways to keep that window open. Go ahead.
I'm not entirely sure what Blue is looking to accomplish right now. They might just be setting up a gank push, hoping for a linear rotation, a single file rotation on part of Red, but no, it's just going to be even Merc camps. The map pressure is fairly stable. Just one losing lane isn't too bad of a disadvantage, but it could be when you have a 50% health core.
Yeah, it's going to be something they have to keep an eye on, especially with these siege guys pushed in, but it looks like they want to get some pressure top. Now, if I'm like Tortles, I actually want to look for a fight right now. I mean, yes, the Immortal's not coming up yet, so you won't get as much value off the kill, but it looks like they might even be thinking of pushing into the core. They're committing... They're committing an awful lot. We could be seeing a core push here. Muradin stepping up. There's the E from Mathael, but Red gonna back off. And they're not committing to this at the moment. And this whole time, bot lane's getting pushed in. So at some point, they have to either make a very, very aggressive play and a risky one, or they need to back off, clear their core, and then try to work Immort.
Level 20 and the minion wave is marching on core. The decision has to be made right now.
It needed to be made a while ago. Right now would do if they would just do it, but still kind of just poking in and out. Not really sure what they want to do, but now their core is starting to take shield damage. There are catapults directly on core. It's not even the siege giants, it's the catapults. And once they're focused on the core, they will stay there. And it looks like Lucio's stepping back to focus the Immortal. No one's coming back to core at the moment. I don't think anyone knows what's going on. Oh, Kael'thas finally does come back, but already the core down to a third health. But you're only sending Kael'thas back. You wasted a lot of time just kind of standing around Blue's core, not making a play.
Hard engage coming in from Blue. Double tanks, that's a lot to look out for.
And no Kael'thas, Dwarf Toss trying to get away. There's the Cocoon onto Greymane. Focus now onto Lucio. Big Rain of Vengeance. Phoenix coming out doing a lot of zone. There's, oh, Sonya leaping into the back. Gonna find Vala. Nurian also very low on that Mathael. The chase is on. Arthas is gonna lose his life. Trying to keep alive as Nurian, using all the tricks in his book. Using the jukes in the bushes. But Norian using Tormented Souls now. He could take out Lucio. Lucio does go down. Now Sonya having to back off. A little bit worried. Kael'thas going to try to kill Norian here. Meanwhile, Greymane starting to focus on this Immortal. Norian finally goes down. It's a 3-for-1 trade. But already Greymane has this Immortal pretty low. Now, keep in mind, this Immortal, I would go core right now. This Immortal has to go through a fort wall, a fort, a keep wall, a keep. Why don't just go core with the advantage if you're going to try to do it? But we like Tortles, trying to get some kind of map pressure. Maybe the Immortal can help keep that lane on bot from getting pushed in, but a lot of decisions that I think could be made a little bit sharper. And a missed Bruiser Camp steal opportunity. And missed regen globes now. Rip.
The most recent engage was definitely threading the needle. Blue simply had to engage before Kael'thas could rejoin the fight and make a 5v5 level 20 versus level 19.
Yeah, a couple points of indecision by both teams. Now, we like Tortles is definitely... They have the late game power spikes and they're using them very, very well. Interesting to see Lucio went Bossa Nova rather than bonus track. But now you spend all this effort getting the Immortal, you don't push in with it, and now this Immortal is already very low health and it's only gotten the fort down. So they need to engage here. Phoenix blown when there's really no chance of a clean engagement there.
Mathael already showed top lane.
Mathael did show top lane. He's starting to rotate down now, but this Immortal is quite healthy. This is a situation where we like Tortles is just playing a long game that I don't think they can play, especially if they don't get this keep, and I don't think they're going to get it. This Mortal going to drop, and now here comes the engagement. Krinovos trying to get the slows. Looks like Muradin's been a bit separated. Has to Dwarf Toss out of there. He does have the Avatar to burn. Lucio getting the Cocoon. There's the Rain of Vengeance on the Kilthos. Sonya leaping onto the backline, trading out Kilthos for Oriel. Now Vala goes down. The chase is on as Mathael goes down. Krinovos a little bit low. Gonna 1v1 Sonya as Anubarak goes down. Lucio doing everything he can to enable Sonya. Lucio's taking core shots. Lucio is going to drop from the keep shots as Sonya now was so busy trying to take Krinovos that she got out of range first. Now they're going to turn their attention to this keep, but they can't go core because they don't have the healer to get them back up. They've fought so well, we like Tortles, but they may not be able to end the game here now, and that is... I think they could do it if Muradin goes under core first. Sonya going under. They need to get Greymane onto the core here. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was really liking the engage there. The Cocoon on Lucio disallowed them to retreat back, clear anything at all if they needed to, but they didn't really need to clear anything. It just turned out to be a fair fight.
Arthas slowing the right target there in Greymane. Sonya using the Crater to try to lock it in. Greymane going for the kill, but they need to focus this core. Now, this core is focusing minions here. They're stacked up a little bit, so if this core starts shooting, but it does go down, and we like Tortles. Down 4 structures. Completes the comeback. What a crazy game. What are your thoughts on that game?
We do have to keep a better eye on the individual pieces of positioning as well as value gotten in the team fights. That doesn't like really pop out. I wasn't really to catch those details.
Yeah, it was lot of things in that game in terms of positioning that got punished. I think you saw overconfidence in the late game on the side of EMC. EMC did not respect We Like Tortles comp, how late game it was, I think. And then their last fights just seemed kind of desperate at times. Like, oh, we have to fight, rather than, oh, we're taking the fights we want. And I think ultimately those late game spikes just played the difference. What a great comeback, though, by We Like Tortles. Staying with it, not getting tilted. We'll get something for game number 2 here on Infernal Shrines. We'll be right back.
Did you capture it? Or just let it slip? Yo. His palm spaghetti, knees weak, arms spaghetti. There's vomit on his sweater spaghetti. Mom spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm spaghetti.
And we are back, spaghetti in hand, as we jump into game number 2 between these two teams, Elite Murloc Chieftains and We Like Turtles. We Like Turtles, huge comeback in game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity. Sweet Buns, what do you think? We had some comments on that last fight. Go ahead and fill the audience in on
The very last fight. It was engaged just as we like. This game team names confused.
EMC is on the left. We Like Turtles on the right.
EMC.
Yeah.
Okay, EMC, Elite Murloc Chieftains. It's just the abbreviation there. Whatever. Anyhow, Anubarak on Elite Murloc Chieftains managed a cocoon on Lucio, and they quickly got a surround on him. That is the point where I thought they either won the team fights or at the very least won the Lucio, unless their opponents would be able to make some absolutely miraculous plays, like Sonya getting a leap, making sure Lucio could not be locked down anymore, allowing him a sound barrier. But as soon as he left the cocoon, he was able to sound barrier freely. I'm surprised there was no CC lined up for him, no sound barrier interrupts, and no abuse of his very, very tiny health bar, which I personally think would have been the fight winner, since it did turn out to be a 5v5.
And the Lucio, I think, towards the end, really just got value out of the Bossa Nova, got value out of that reduced cooldown. I'm always a bonus track loyalist, but here we go. We're seeing actually a complete opposite of the draft as before. The Haka Sonya banned, two good heroes that control the shrine, but we see the Vala this time being picked up by We Like Tortles, and we're seeing EMC counter with the Greymane Lucio. So this is the same draft, albeit mirror image.
It's kind of curious that Dehaka was banned when he wasn't touched on Infernal Shrines at all. Dehaka being such a popular pick on Infernal Shrines, great on defense, great on attack, great in the team fights that the map is so central about, a great solo laner for the off lane, good on rotations in general. As for like defending the Immortal, Dehaka will so often just use the movement speed and pop a Q on somebody, drag him into a mortal stun, and generally get lots of value just being in the middle of everybody using that level 1 talent for spell armor.
Well, I mean, we're not going to see the Dehaka here. I would say the spell armor talent is probably less common anymore anyway. But now we are seeing a reverse of the draft. We're seeing Arthas Ariel being picked up by We Like Tortles. Now this time Kael'thas is banned, so we're not going to see a complete reversal of the draft. EMC not going to be able to go into the Kael'thas. That worked out very well for We Like Tortles last time. But this is the exact same first half of the draft in terms of picked heroes, not counting bans, but reversed, which is really interesting to me. We'll see if We Like Tortles is able to play better in the late game with this kind of draft than EMC.
The resemblance is too uncanny. Are you sure the sides aren't swapped?
I am certain the sides are not.
Wow.
Leoric and Gul'dan. Okay, I like these picks. Leoric is actually pretty mean into Arthas. March or Tomb can be very good. I love Gul'dan just in general. And he can be kind of a pain for Ariel, because when you're on a friendly Ariel comp, you want to stack up. You want to be abusing those AoE heals she can throw out. Well, Gul'dan wants the enemy team to stack up, so he can land a Killer Horrify and win. Or he can just keep, go Q build and just keep Qing away, constantly burning down the health of everyone on the other, trying to get healed up by Ariel. Interesting trade.
Yeah, a fairly all-rounder comp, but my only problem is with the lack of ambiguity in what they're doing. It's fair enough that they only have one pick left, but that pick needs to be a tank with decent CC, depending on, of course, what these two picks are.
Yeah, and ETC's out, Arthas is banned. You could go and there's actually Artanis. That one's an interesting.
we can be quite sure what the ultimate picks are, or in general talent builds are.
Garrosh!
Oh wow.
So we're gonna probably see. I think we could see a Challenger's Cry as a way to proc off, like a big March of the Black King to lower people down with plus the AOE damage of Gul'dan and Cocktails from Greymane. I actually really like the comp on the side of EMC. We like Tortles. The Artanis is surprising me, but they are going with a double support, double warrior. This is kind of a callback to the meta at the end of last year.
I was gonna say, it was like, I am absolutely sure the moment Leoric was picked in draft that he was not going to pick Entomb, and it's because he was picked alongside Gul'dan. But you don't need Entomb for Engage, you have Lucio for that. You don't need Entomb for the follow-up damage, you don't
Right.
have any particular, like, focused AoE.
Well, the reason I said Entomb can be good into what they have, although the Malfurion makes the Entomb not attractive at all. But it does make March of the Black King pretty attractive. With that, we're gonna jump here into game number 2 once again on the Diablo map, the Diablo maps are my favorite. But this time we're gonna have EMC once again on the left. We're gonna have Norian on Gul'dan. Brojin gonna be dropping the Master Taunt on Lucio. Undead gonna be doing a little dance on Greymane. Goku gonna be playing Anubarak, and Krinivas gonna be on that Leoric. Go ahead and introduce the right side.
Here we got Dr. Crispy on Arthas, Silent Storm on Artanis, Got Milk on Malfurion, Weesp on Ariel, and Goron Chief on Vala.
Now we are seeing the gold mounts actually come out here. Everyone on the same mount. That mount synergy. You know, clean up your game, EMC. Your mount synergy is awful, and you just got showed up. I mean, basically, We Like Tortles has already won this game. The rest of this is just, you know, it's window dressing, because they have the mount synergy.
Just wait until we see Leoric pick Entomb and zone off a Malfurion Twilight Dream with it. Just wall that off.
Well, I mean, generally, you can't... I mean, it's got a pretty big range. The thing is even if you don't Entomb Malthael, you can Entomb... and Malthael can run up beside it in Twilight Dream to prevent the blow-up. And actually, Artanis gets rotated on here on the side of EMC. So going for the first kill. Now remember, EMC had a very, very strong early game, and they lost it kind of in the late game. It's worth noting Gul'dan going into E-Quest rather than Q-Quest. So maybe more worried about that back line. But with as much sustained healing as Malfurion's going to put out, I could see an argument against it. But 4-man rotation here in the bottom, pretty standard. But now it looks like we might see Vala going to rotate up and try to relieve the pressure that this Gul'dan has put on the Malfurion. Camp being picked up already on the side of EMC. Gul'dan in the mid lane, just trying to build those stacks. Up to 6. We'll get a good chance to build those up once we get to the Shrine phase. So, going to be lost here on the bottom. Trying to push up with these Siege Giants. Get maximum value there, I think. And actually, now we're starting to see a rotation. So, not pushing up with the Siege Giants, but already lost a little bit of soak here. And the soaking game, right now, ever so slightly, favoring We Like Tortles, despite that early pickoff.
That's because of their dedication to the Merc camp and neglecting a bit of soak bottom lane. Also, it can be paired with Vala zoning Leoric off a bit of soak in the top.
Yeah, they are investing a lot into these Merc camps, but then not really pushing up with them or protecting them. And at that point, the reason you want to take a Merc camp is you're trading time now for value later. But if you're trading time now and you're not getting value with it, as a great flip onto Arthas, there's the stun, trying to make sure Arthas doesn't get back behind the wall, and he doesn't. Ariel could not save him. Great kill heading into the Shrine phase. Arthas will be back up, but that should allow something of an early positioning, as Krinivas has already taken out one tower up top, doing really well into the solo lane Malfurion. We're not going to see Malfurion, I think, get the value that they want with him until post 10. And it seems like We Like Tortles is content at the meantime to just kind of soak and not really worry too much about this. Arthas is starting to rotate in, though, and they are positioning. We could see a 4v4 fight. Now, Malfurion will get to the fight slightly before Leoric. If it lands a good root, that could proc such a good engagement. There's the root. Gonna hit Garrosh, gonna hit Lucio, but no real focus as Grenvast. Putting everyone else out with the skeleton. Dr. Crispy is such in a bad position. Gets flipped over onto the wrong side, away from the team by Goku on that Garrosh. Great play. Gul'dan already building up those stacks, now up to 15. This should be a Mortar Punisher going over to the side of EMC.
It seems there's a little bit of disparity between in the red team between.
Good flip onto Got Milk there. Sorry to interrupt, but Got Milk does go down. Now Vala on the chase, trying to get away. Could get a knockback from Ariel. In fact, going to do that. As Artanis now gets stunned. Artanis is not going to get away. That's 3 deaths on that team fight. Great job there by AMC. Go ahead.
There's a bit of disparity right there between clearing the objective and going for the team fight. I've noticed Goron Chief for about 7 consecutive auto attacks was just stutter stepping and hitting the little minions while the team fights were tanking hard.
Yeah, maybe relying too much on the click A as a way to auto attack there, rather than doing manual targeting, which is harder, certainly much technically harder, but something you really I think need to do in that position. But gonna get a fort with that first Punisher, and almost a 2-level lead here on the side of EMC as they start to rotate into camps. We are seeing Greymane pick up the top, while 3 people pick up the mid lane Siege Giants. Leoric just soaking away. Bruiser Camp's getting picked up. 4 people being committed to the Bruiser Camp. No one really soaking the lanes here right now for We Like Tortles. They were doing a good job, but kind of panicked a little bit due to, I think, that last team fight. Now they need to just calm down, find a way to play the game back the way they know how.
I'm just worried they're not going to be getting level 10 in time for the next objective.
Yo, they're definitely not. I mean, there's no way they are. And actually, here comes an invasion. Now, this is going to be a 4v4. Malfurion dropping the big root. There comes... Oh, onto the point now. This is going to be a focus fight. They're not going to have little 10s, but there's the clumping, which favors the Gul'dan. Now, Dr. Crispy going to need to get out of there, but Dr. Crispy going to drop. This is going to be the Siege Giants. Vala gets separated, which means she wasn't in range to feed Ariel hope, and Vala actually goes down to a combination of poison damage and cocktail. And Artanis shows up, but it's too late to really do anything. And once again, just leaving Leoric to soak. And now there's level 10s, and guess what we got? We got March of the Black King. We got Horrify. We got Sound Barrier. We got, oh, I always forget it. Warlord's Challenge. I keep calling it, like, Challenger's Cry, and it's not that. It's Warlord's Challenge and then Cursed Bullet. So we could see what I thought, which is you'll see Garrosh try to just get in the middle of the team, blow that big taunt to set up a huge March of the Black King, chunk everyone down with Gul'dan just poking the whole time as Dr. Crispy gets flipped once again on the wrong side. Now Ariel, who is diving to save Arthas, gonna pay for it as now a 3-level lead. Good Horrify there by Gul'dan. Get some more kills. Now they're getting a fort for basically free. 3-level lead now, starting to be a feels bad man. Silent Storm wanting to get something to happen. Charges in and swaps short range onto Gul'dan. Gonna get flipped over by Garrosh and dies under the own fort. Trying to make something happen 2v5 is a sign of tilt.
Very large minion wave under the fort.
Yeah, it's a sign of tilt. It's a sign that either he thought that swap would go better, but I don't see how it would have. I don't know. I think it's just a tilt. It's kind of one of those, oh, we have to do something. Let's try to do this. But meanwhile, now they're stuck cleaning up mid. They're stuck cleaning up bottom. They don't have 10s, and this is going to be a free fort once again. Very strong early game by EMC.
I would attribute it as more overvaluing the existence of the fort, without like taking too much into account the enemy minion wave under it. Aside from that, I'm really curious why they took the level 9 versus level 7 engage earlier. 4v4, It was the clumping up that I would say decided the fights, and perhaps a bit of a numbers advantage, a draft advantage, be it a distribution of damage dealers and healers.
Right. So
But
far
it
we've
really
not. Yeah. So far we've
has
not
been
seen the
okay
Malfurion
to
get
show
that
that
value. Go ahead.
They could have possibly thrown their lead in that instant, taking that level 9 versus level 7 fight.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice, but they managed to win out, and I think it's just because of the AoE damage they have at their disposal. But this is now, we're seeing a huge commit to clearing Arthas wants to make sure that Well dies bottom. Meanwhile, you have an Arcane Punisher pushing straight on to
Arthas
keep
is
wall.
moving. He's not hearthing. Now he's hearthing.
A bit of a miscommunication there, and now the Punisher comes over the wall, but the gate's down. Huge horrify. Ariel gets taunted. There's the Challenger's Cry with the March of the Black King doing so much damage. Now Silent Storm just trying to get away, but the Arcane Punisher might kill Got Milk. Got Milk was down below 20 health, but going to be able to get away from that Arcane Punisher laser. Now Vala is low. John Cena jumping over the wall, going for that Dr. Crispy. Twilight Dream is still up. Ariel did die with Aegis available. Army of the Dead up for Arthas, but this Punisher moving on to core. There's the flip onto Artanis. Artanis goes down. March of the Black King coming up for Arthas, trying to just slow this down, but there is no way you're saving this core now. Mouth could run in Twilight Dream, and it wouldn't make a bit of difference. Ariel now getting flipped. They're turning their attention. At this point, getting kills is just BM. 5-man Twilight Dream, but not going to make any difference. All the members of We Like Tortles dropping. EMC once again get the early lead, but this time they don't lose it. They go big. They destroy the core. Very quick 10-minute game. Very strong showing by EMC. They draw the series at 1-1. Both teams will get 1 point in the... What did you think of that game?
Let's see, last little bits and pieces. I'm not entirely sure two healers is very good. Well, two healers is good on a map where the objectives are forced, where they can't out PvE you, just can't get split push value, can't beat you in lane, and they kind of walk themselves into a situation like that. Malfurion was face up against Leoric, plenty of pressure right there. They were forced into awkward rotations. Vala had to help them out. Their Merc camp, their ability to get Merc camps as well as defend Mercs in general was taken advantage of greatly.
Yeah, it was... I mean, I think part of that was...
them being behind.
With the double support, you need to win the team fights, and they lost a 5v5 team fight early. I'm trying to think, like, if they want to do double supports that could have worked well there would have been Rhaegar, who can clear the lane pretty well. Better than Malfurion, although Malfurion's no slouch. But also Brightwing, who could global in, I think, could have been pretty good. Overall, though, I don't think given the current meta, that's a good double support map. And further, Malfurion was basically stuck on his own the whole time. He had to soak up all the XP that the 4-man was losing. And once they lost that first team fight, it just seemed like they could never catch their breath. And, good win. I'm going to see if I can try to get a member of EMC in here for us to talk to. Let me take 1 second to do that. We'll be right back. Alright, we're back. We're joined by Norian of Elite Murloc Chieftains, aka EMC is what I called them, because for whatever reason I couldn't say Elite Murloc Chieftains quickly. I almost butchered it there. Um, you guys came in. Game number one looked really dominant. And then just it seemed like you couldn't close it out. Had a couple, I think, misplays around the core, but then just never really got your footing underneath. Weren't able to get a team fight after that. Kind of walk me through what you think happened, Norian.
Well, mostly, like you said, we were doing pretty dominant early on, but we started clumping up in small corridors and we were taking a lot of damage from Kel'Thas's Q and living bombs, and we weren't really managing properly. After we lost one of those major team fights in their side of the map, in that little corridor there, we just kind of fell apart. We weren't able to get everything back in order. Our mindset just kind of went off, and we weren't able to communicate properly the rest of that match, so it just kind of went downhill.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, that sort of thing happens, but the reason I kind of start with that, dark time is because then you guys came back on map number 2 and you played extraordinarily well on that map. It seemed like your communication was there. It seemed like your focus was there. Everyone was seeming to be committing to shot calls well. How do you before we get into the game itself, did you do anything to try to prep each other emotionally heading into game number 2 after what could be described as a throw? Or was it just kind of like, once you got it out of your system, all right, everyone just finds their own way to...
Well, pretty much we just looked over game 1. We saw what we were doing wrong. We're like, okay, let's not do that again. First off, Kel'Thas, we don't want to fight him. Sonya, we don't want to fight her either, so we just got that out of the way. We figured out our draft from the very beginning, what we wanted to play, and we were pretty confident from there on. Infernal Shrines is one of our better maps, so we're pretty happy going there to begin with, so our confidence didn't go down from game 1 at all.
And you guys look really strong. It seemed that it really turned on that first Immortal phase. I mean, you're going against a double support Vala comp, so that is very much a comp that has to win the team fights. But you guys had really good separation. So kind of walk me through, like, was the separation intended? Was the Garrosh picked solely like as a counter to Arthas, or was it just this kind of a comp you guys have had in your back pocket that you're planning?
Well, Goku, our main tank player, he plays a lot of Garrosh. It's one of his favorite tanks, and it's honestly his best tank. So most of the time, we usually look at him, and we saw like Ariel Vala. We thought we could pick them out if we get him up there. So we were putting a lot of faith in him, let him grab Garrosh, and we went from there. We followed up on everything he did, and there we go.
And then after that first Immortal, you guys just got really aggressive, and I liked the call because you had that, 2-level lead. You turned it into a 3-level lead, and you just, after you won that fight, this is one that I know Sweet Buns was talking about. You guys took a fight on their Siege Giants, like level 9.5 into 7.5. Now that could have been risky, because if you lost that team fight, you would not be getting 10s certainly before they were. I mean, you'd get 10s earlier, but maybe not in time to then auto win the next immortal phase. What was your thought going into that? Was it just like you had that level of confidence, or you were just not thinking about level 10? Like what was the thought process?
Well, we were pretty much watching the map. The call during that point was for Kryn on Leoric to come down from top lane and come down on top of them. So that's what he did. We saw that their top laner was still up there, so it was a 4v5. So we moved in, we took the camp, and we walked away.
And then from there, you were going to push in mid and then top, and pretty much win pretty easily with the Arcane Punisher. So with that, this was, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this was your first game of the season, yes?
Yes.
So what are your aspirations in Division C West? Do you see yourselves as a contender? Are you still trying to feel things out? Like what are your goals, and where do you think you currently rank?
Currently, our main goal is to, well, just not be at the bottom. Like, we'll be fine if we're like maybe number 8 in Division
Ins-
C West.
Okay.
But that's pretty much our goal. As for everything else, we got a new member just today. Like, it was pretty stressful,
Right.
but we didn't really know how this whole matchup was going to be because this was the first time we ever played with that person. But it looked like it went pretty well. He was communicating with us perfectly. He was matches us pretty well. So I'd say we're feeling pretty confident, and I think
Yeah.
we might be able to get pretty far.
I think you guys actually might do pretty well. Now, I'm still feeling out where Division C was, but if it's comparable to last season, and I think it's probably better than last season, but if comparable to last season, I think you guys could actually be competitive. So, just keep at it. Best of luck this season. Thanks for letting me cast. Any questions from you, Sweet Buns, before we go?
Oh, wrong push to talk button. I'm afraid not. Solid all around. Good games to both of you.
All right, and with that, we'll end this cast for now. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Comfort Picks versus, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Pradas, Freights, Frates. We'll figure it out. They'll correct me at some point. But we'll see you there, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific, here on the Nexus Gaming Series. Sweet Buns, any shoutouts before you go, or want to plug yourself on any social media?
Oh, I've got nothing to plug. Thank you, though.
All right, and I am DB Smiley. You can follow me at Twitter, twitter.com/DB, or Death by Smiley. Excuse me. I tweet a lot about HGC statistics. Additionally, I have a Heroes Hearth blog that I'll be keeping update on HGC. Further, you can follow my casting here at twitch.tv/DBSmiley here on the Nexus Gaming Series. If you want to check it out, you want to get involved, check out nexusgamingseries.com. Season 3 obviously underway, but Season 4 won't be too far away, so hopefully you can join